Hello everyone, my name is Rage, welcome back to WoT Blitz School, and today we are gonna be having another, few lessons. You're gonna enjoy them, but I just wanna say before we start that, well, there's a giveaway on my Spanish channel for 10,000 subscribers. This giveaway is sponsored by Wargaming, so there's gonna be 5 premium tanks and 6 months premium time. If you wanna participate, just go to my channel in Spanish, which is called World of Tank Blitz en Español, which means in Spanish. And there you can find the video for 10,000 subscribers. All you have to do is comment with your name, the region or server you are from, and then the tank you want from the Tech 3 Premium Tier 8 tanks. So if you want the T-34, the Luve, the Super Pershing, you know where I'm going, you can choose any of those and you can have a chance to win. But without anything else to say, thank you guys for your support. We are already at over 500 subscribers. And yeah, let us begin with today's lesson. So okay, let's begin. We are gonna be watching one war on his T-44 100 Hellfire because of the camo. But this tank, in my personal opinion, is one of, if not the worst premium tank you can buy. This tank is worse than the T-44 from the Tech 3, so you have 2 less degrees of gun depression, you have less speed, so you're slower, but you don't have better armor. So it's like you're buying a nerfed and very nerfed version of the T-44 from the Tech 3, and I don't really see the point of this tank just existing in the game. So we are going to be watching what this tank can actually do. Luckily there, the high explosive anti-tank round bounces on the space armor on the side, which is like one of the features of this tank, having that space armor on the side of the tracks, and on the tracks of course. So there's, I guess, a little bit of an advantage over the T-44, but considering the T-49 shot at the tracks, it would have been hard for the T-49 to actually like pen that, even on the T-44, on the regular one. And right now we can see a little bit of lag there. But yeah, this tank is terrible in my opinion, especially because you have to pay for it. It's not like you just play on the Tech 3 and get this tank. No, you have to actually pay for it. The damage per minute is not amazing. There's really not a lot of amazing things about this tank. And at least against 2 T-49s, if you show the spaced armor, if you show the tracks, yeah, you're gonna be bouncing shots, you're gonna be absorbing a lot of damage from that high explosive, and overall you're gonna be having a better time. But there you can see that the upper plate just cannot bounce that shot from the T-49. And well, what I want to go with this whole replay, and so far the replay has been good because of the T-49 lack of expertise. If the T-49s actually knew how to aim, this would have been a different story. Because if you know that space armor can absorb hit rounds, yeah, you don't shoot at space armor with hit rounds. And that's what's been happening in this game. But yeah, my point with this replay is that even with, in my opinion, the worst premium tank you can buy, and even with the worst tanks you can get, there you can see the 5 degrees of gun depression that this tank has. But yeah, even with the worst tanks, you can actually do great things. Because, as I always say, I would rather have a really good player on an average or bad tank than a really bad player on a really amazing tank. Why is that? Because I often trust people more than tanks. It's simple as that. And I think you all guys can agree with me. It doesn't matter how good the tank is, if the driver is just bad, there's really not gonna be a lot of, there's gonna be a good result. And in my opinion, this tank is just pretty bad, but it doesn't mean that it cannot do good things. Because of the simple fact that it has enough mobility to be able to, flank around and whatnot. By saying worst premium tank, I don't mean like it's completely terrible, bad, and it cannot do anything. No, it just, why would you pay for a nerfed version of a Tech 3 tank? And there we can see that the tank can actually do some things, but it's really limited. It's not like it can do way better than this. The T-49s could have destroyed this tank if they knew how to aim, but that was not the case. So yeah, there's a little bit of, you know, it was a nice replay. You can see the ace wasn't really high. 1,346 experience. Obviously we had a lot of victory points, so that was supremacy. But yeah, it's not an amazing tank. I would just not recommend buying them. And in my opinion, the only really good thing about this tank is the camouflage. The camouflage is actually really nice. And I'm kinda salty that this tank has a legendary camouflage when it's so irrelevant. And some others, like the Jack Panzer E100, doesn't. So yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Let us go with the next lesson. Let us now start with Villegas DS. Well, not start, you know, it's a second replay, so it doesn't make a lot of sense what I said, but let us start with this game. And we're gonna be watching the M48 Patton, which is one of the... It's not a bad tank, it's not a bad medium tank at tier 10, it just feels outdated. When you consider that the STB can do what the STB can do, the E50M, and well, the T62A nowadays, this tank just feels outdated. It's not a bad tank by any means, it's actually a really good tank. It just feels like, I don't know, it could use a little bit of speed, you know? There's a lot of tanks that just go faster than this tank nowadays, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. However, like I said, it's not a bad tank. It's actually an amazing hold-down tank. And yeah, we're gonna be watching Villegas play here. And just a big, you know, call out and a big thanks to my Latin American community, because they've been supporting the channel quite a lot, those who speak English and whatnot, so yeah. So, the Patton. It has a really good gun. I really like the gun on this tank. I don't know why, but it feels like really reliable for me. I don't know if it's the dispersion on the move or something. It just feels like you can shoot without aiming too much, and it just goes wherever you want it to go. It just feels that way. It has an amazing view range, so that's... I think nowadays that the STB got nerfed of view range. I think this tank has the best view range at tier 10. From medium tanks, obviously, the big horse light has a better view range overall. That was a really... that bounce, you aimed exactly, Villegas, at the... like, the spike, like the union between the lower plate and the upper plate, so that was an automatic bounce. If you aimed at that lower plate there, it would have been an easy pen, but yeah, that wasn't the case. It doesn't matter too much, to be completely fair. You bounce the shot from the Leo, and that's something that this tank has. It has armor. The front plate can actually bounce shots because of the, like, you know, the shape, like an X shape. And overall, it's a good tank. I think you're playing here a little bit too passive. I would go on the left side to take over from the right side, because yeah, you're starting to spot tanks on your right, and you don't really wanna commit. And I completely get that, but yeah, you should go where the T62A is. I probably just try to flank around, and this little mound on your left is gonna be covering you from the tank destroyers on the right. So in my opinion, you could have been a little bit more aggressive. You're playing passive, and so far you're doing great. You are not losing HP, you are like surprising the enemy. But now the E4 is coming, you have one less tank. You get a nice shot on the Leo PTA. The Leo PTA, I don't know, I don't think he knows what he's doing. But yeah, that's an easy kill on the Leo PTA. You actually ammo rack the guy, because you damaged the ammo rack on a shot before. And now their two tank destroyers are pushing. We don't know where the IS-8 is, I don't believe so. And here I would focus on the E4. I think the E4 is, you know, it's a bigger threat right now. So I would focus on the E4, which is what you're doing. And you're allowing your team to kinda, you know, have a little bit of a chill time. And you're also spotting the tank destroyer so they don't surprise anyone. And you're flanking, you're doing your job here. I really like this. You're gonna take a shot from the E4, and you're gonna actually bounce with the side armor. That shot went into the tracks, and yeah, that allows you to pretty much secure the kill on the E4. Now you're gonna secure it. And there you should have aimed. That was a really, really bad idea, but nice face cut. He doesn't have the gun depression to go to your lower plate. And that was a really weird thing with the Waffenträger gun. That was a really weird thing because it was like going through your turret and you were aiming at it, but you managed to get the kill. You should have aimed the shot on the A4. It would have been a better one. But yeah, other than that, so far so good. You've been extremely cautious with your hit points. You've been extremely patient. And you haven't lost a single. Well, you lost some from the RAM, but it doesn't really count. Because losing 14 HP is not that terrible. I would say. Especially when you're already done like 4k damage. And yeah. It's a really good game. You played passive. And but you were spotting. So that's important. You were the one like giving feedback to your team on where the enemy was. So I guess that's a really good one. And here they're just gonna burn the tier 9 heavy tank that just really kind of compete with the Patton's DPM, especially when you're using adrenaline. So nice use of adrenaline there. That's an ace with 1440 XP. I'm not surprised. You spotted 5 enemy tanks, like I was saying. You spotted 5 of them, so that's really, really good. And 600 resistance was also really, really. I wouldn't say amazing, but it kind of points out that you actually did something for your team. And yeah, 5,000 damage without losing HP. That's just. I bet your survival rating is really high. Because you were not aggressive. I didn't see a lot of aggression in your playstyle, which is not a bad thing, but sometimes you have to be aggressive, because sometimes your aggression can actually save your team, and you just lost a lot of tanks there, and by the time you lost 4 tanks on your team, you were only at 700 damage. Luckily enough, the E4, the Leo PTA, the 50B, the Tortoise, they didn't really aim at you at all, and when the E4 decided to aim at you, he actually pounced twice. So yeah, I think you got a little bit lucky there, but in my opinion, you should be a little bit more aggressive. Perhaps you would have been able to save a few of your tanks if you were more aggressive at the beginning. I don't know, but other than that, it was a really, really good game, and I think you did the right thing. In my opinion, at the end, you did the right thing. So yeah. Let us now continue to the last game of today, and I think you guys are gonna love it. Okay, so let us begin with this game, and as you can see, we start with a lot of lag. I don't know if our friend here, Mictlan, it's a Spanish word by the way, but Mictlan, I don't know if he like disconnected at the beginning, but you can see the game is already started. There's already one of the enemies down. So yeah, that's a really good start for Mictlan's team. In 30 seconds, there's already 1 tank on the enemy team that is completely gone. So, a really aggressive team. You can see there's 50-100 just pushing really hard. The standard B also. Here, Mictlan, I don't know why he's like switching so much, like the ammo. I don't know, I really don't know, but you can hear the noise like jig, 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 jig. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Probably he's just playing or something. But yeah, here we're gonna be playing really aggressive with our team. I think this is already like half won. The enemy team just completely played. They split in half, and their light tanks, well, their medium tanks didn't manage to do anything. And yeah, this is already at 7B4. So yeah, it's what happens. Nice aiming there with the you could probably have gone with the sniper mode and go through the wall, but that was a good choice. Now, in my personal opinion, this is just completely, this is too easy so far. This is extremely easy. You're doing great, don't get me wrong, you're doing your job. And you're flanking around, you're using your speed on the AMX-30 Premia prototype. I forgot how to, say it in French. But yeah, you can see this tank has really good armor on the turret. Otherwise, it doesn't really. And it has a lot of gun depression. So if you kind of use those two things, in my opinion, this is a better tank than the tier 10 variant, the AMX 30B. In my opinion, this is better. It's better turret armor because it doesn't have like that huge weak point at the top. Like, it has that weak point, you can see it. You can see the turret, sure, it has a weak point, but it's really small compared to the 30B. It doesn't make a lot of sense. The 30B, in my opinion, it's balanced, but it's not an amazing tank. And as how your team, Clan, even though you are facing the E75, your team is now, well, it's almost a tie. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know how you lost so many tanks, and they didn't even do a lot of damage. So yeah, that's really weird. And now you lost another tank. You're losing on points. How did this game went south? It doesn't make sense. You actually have way less HP than the enemy team. It doesn't make sense how this game went south so fast. The M103 manages to pen you. Yeah, you should go for the tracks there and start, you know, outmaneuvering the M103, which is what you're doing. So really good choice here. And you're trying to get out, but yeah, the M103 is actually playing good enough. Now the M103 misses, and your teammate actually captures C, which is really good. And yeah, luckily for you, the tortoise wasn't really paying a lot of attention. He didn't help his teammate. And you're already at 5,700. Well, 5,822 actually. So yeah, I don't know. You played well, but here I don't know what happened 2 times. And first, what the hell happened here was, how did your team lose so many tanks? And you actually ran out of standard rounds, which is kind of funny. And but yeah, there you kind of you probably got frustrated. But yeah, like the tortoise cannot really do much about you. But I don't really know what happened in this game like 2 times. This is just completely. You did great. You completely farmed the enemy team because they were not amazing players. But then how did you lose? You were on a 7 before. Then you were on a 7v3, I believe, when you killed the Tiger 2. So 3 of their tanks managed to kill 5 of yours. But hold on, because you were fighting the E75 though, so the E75 doesn't count. That means the M103 and the Tortoise managed to destroy like 5 or 4 tanks. Actually like 4 tanks. But they were not really good players. How the hell did this game happen? I don't really know. What I know is that you completely took advantage of the enemy because they were fighting your players, and apparently your players were not really good because the enemy wasn't really good as well. So just completely confused in this game. Let me know, guys, comments below what the hell happened in this game. Just let me know what happened. I don't know. And that was an amazing 5 times with this tank. 151,000 credits. And yeah, of course that was an ace. I'm not surprised. That was actually a really high game. 1,790 base XP. Yeah, what an amazing game. But it's just I'm completely lost. I don't know what happened. Look at this team. Like 5 of your players just stopped dealing damage, and we saw that the M103 wasn't an amazing player. He was struggling against you. So how the hell did these 2 guys that were struggling completely against you just completely evaporate 5 of your tanks? I don't really know. I don't know what happened here. But yeah, comment below, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you had a great time. Remember to upload your replays on the Discord channel. You can find the invitation below. And without anything else to say, I'll see you guys on the next one. See ya.